This week we are shooting the majority of episode 103, which is the episode that I wrote in 2 days because it was something that had been on my heart for a while. Jesus' heart for children. And I wanted to capture an episode that not only captured Jesus by himself, out alone, which is something that we've rarely seen in any Jesus projects, but also interactions with children. And my wife sent me a text the morning of, so that when I met with the child actors, that I was reminded of why we were doing this episode, and it was something that I wanted to share with them actually too, to let them know why we were doing this episode. And she texted me and she said, "A reminder when you have a moment of what God feels toward the children on your set today, praying you'd be Jesus to them, praying they'd meet the real Jesus as a result of their time with you." And then she shared with me these verses, which were about what Jesus said about children to his disciples who were looking down and dismissing children, which is how in that culture children were kind of seen and not heard and usually dismissed. Calling to him a child, Jesus put him in the midst of them and said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven." Meaning children have a special connection to the Father, meaning children are to be protected, and that adults are to actually be more like children when it comes to their faith. That's a pretty humbling thing to hear. It's a pretty daunting thing to hear, to be reminded that not only are you to treat children with way more honor and respect and care than maybe our instinct would have, but to also make sure that in our faith and in our walk that we are actually pursuing a more childlike faith, that we are actually pursuing less human maturity and more wonder and more awe and more purity in our learning and in our walk. And so it was not only a helpful reminder to the kids and to the actor playing Jesus, but also to me as we're approaching episode 103.